Hello, we're here on the TM studio at Smart Manufacturing Week. I'm here with Ozgur from AWS, who's hot-footed it from the Manufacturing Digitalisation Summit, where he's been delivering a keynote this morning. Ozgur, can you give us a little bit of a flavour of today's keynote talk and some key takeaways?
So today's session was centered very much around AI and how AI is actually transforming or accelerating manufacturers' journey towards Industry 4.0. This is a dream that we've been thinking about, dreaming about, talking about, but what we've seen in the last 2 years with generative AI, AI agents, this is really accelerating and the possibilities are enormous.
And obviously, talking to manufacturers as we do, we hear a lot about Industry 4.0, we're hearing an awful lot about AI. How are the two interlinked? Are they one and the same thing from your perspective, or how do they tie together?
Industry 4.0, I think, defines a wanted position and aspiration. It's a combination of, and then you get there with the combination of different technologies. I think IoT, robotics, automation is all there. What AI has done, I think, has been an accelerant in many ways, because it cuts across all the different phases of the manufacturer's journey, all the way from sales and marketing, shop floor, what happens in customer care. But it also has opened up a lot of possibilities because it has become very easy to use AI and generative AI.
Okay. And from your perspective, how are AWS customers exploring the possibilities, particularly with generative AI?
So if you look at the typical manufacturer, and if you think about how they're rethinking their organization and their company transformation, if you look at the different departments like sales and marketing, product design and development, manufacturing, supply chain, customer care, we see pockets of opportunities in every one of them. Like in customer care, for example, a lot of AI assistants are happening, helping with reducing customer care calls or helping them resolve much faster. When you look at product design, especially if you're designing more complex products, software embedded products, through the use of digital twins, through the use of some of the simulation technologies, we're seeing a shrinkage of the timelines to take products to market. The innovation, like how fast can you bring innovation to market? You're thinking about the digital shop floor, quality control, predictive insights, like knowing what to expect, where to expect. AI has really transformed that space. Then supply chain, I mean, we're seeing almost every 2 years. It was COVID at some point. It was the shortage of microchips, and now the tariff situation shaking up the whole world. We're seeing how vulnerable supply chains are and how AI can actually help build more agile and data-driven networks.
Sure. I mean, and I appreciate you might not be able to mention any names specifically, but can you cite any real-world case examples where manufacturers are really reaping the benefits of AI?
Absolutely. I think one, like there are many, but like just to cite a few, we're working, for example, with Kone, the elevator escalator company. These guys move 2 billion people per day. It's a massive operation they run globally, and about 1.6 million of their products are connected today. If you think about as a user, how frustrating it is when an escalator or an elevator is not working, that's precisely the pain point here, like how fast can you actually resolve that? Through the work we're doing with Kone, they're actually using generative AI by bringing all the information, like the maintenance history of the products, equipment that's out there, the IoT connectivity data, all the user manuals throughout the years that are relevant for those products. And when a trouble happens, like when there's trouble tickets, you can actually, the technician can troubleshoot through an AI technician that actually is looking at all this information in a conversational interface, be able to address what the issue is and maybe troubleshoot significantly faster. Just one example.
Sure. And I think it's fair to say that there are a lot of manufacturers out there that are wondering how they should be deploying AI, dare I say, if they should be deploying AI. So do you have any top tips for manufacturers who are wanting to, make the first steps on that AI journey?
I have a top tip for anyone who wants to deploy AI, and that is around please work backwards from the needs of the customer. Because what we have seen about 2 years ago when generative AI became the hot topic, there were so many POCs, engineering-driven projects out there that even this terminology, generative AI POC graveyard, was coined because a lot of POCs never went to production. It didn't have the customer or the business value. So I think always work backwards from the customer and think about the business value it's generating. I think when it comes to manufacturers specifically, what we're seeing is as they think about use of AI, they also question their data strategy. Like, what is my data strategy? How am I connecting my enterprise? How I'm actually extracting value from the data that sits in different silos today across the enterprise? So my first recommendation would be to start with the data strategy.
Sure, sure. And I guess, very much, the flip side of the same question, but what are some of the common mistakes, common pitfalls that you see manufacturers making when deploying AI?
I think common mistakes is, first, I think there's sometimes we see too much time spent in elaboration and thinking through. I think one of our recommendations, just get going. It's so easy to experiment.
Yeah.
Just start. It's so easy to experiment. A lot of these technologies are conversational. You can literally, it's you can just use it over the internet. You don't need to even have an elaborate system implemented. So I think just get going. So if you start being slow is probably a common mistake.
Yeah.
Just get going.
Just get started.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how can manufacturers? We talk about data probably about as much as we're talking about AI at the moment. So how can manufacturers ensure that they're securely infusing their proprietary data into new and emerging AI models?
So I think one of the things that we see is a big differentiator when it comes to all the companies is their own proprietary data. Because if you think about all the choice of foundational models out there, which you get a new version every day, you have so many different providers out there. I think manufacturers realizing their proprietary data and how they're able to customize some of the foundation models out there, and then using that customized foundation model to actually answer some of the questions that are specific for their business is the way to go. And one of the things that we have seen, all companies have access to the same foundational models. Ultimately, your data is your differentiator.
Indeed. And I guess finally, looking forward, many of the challenges that manufacturers have got today, they'll still be grappling with in the future, whether it be supply chain disruption or the journey to net zero and people and skills, etc., etc. So in terms of the use of things like generative AI in manufacturing, what does the future look like? We're hearing things about agentic AI now. So what does the roadmap ahead look like?
I think if I look at, you already mentioned agentic AI. I think there's a lot of, not even a discussion, I think implementation of agents happening already. One of the things that we see is as current agents are actually focusing on getting certain goals established, which is different than the assistants that we used to see. I think the future is going to be around agentic systems. So agents collaborating and interacting with each other to solve more complex problems. I'll give you an idea from the travel industry. Imagine you're booking your flights. You typically get the lowest cost flight, maybe the times work for you. Then if you're booking your trip, you look at the end-to-end journey from your home to your hotel. So maybe an agent can do the full booking. If you think about planning your whole vacation, then you're thinking about agentic systems, thinking about the whole experience and different agents actually interacting with each other. And the same, you could actually take it to the manufacturing system, thinking about your whole production schedule for the month is going to be done by agentic systems.
Yeah. Great analogy. Ozgur, thanks for joining us on the TM Studio. Appreciate your time.
Great to have you.